I've been wanting a rolling mobile tool cart for a while. I finally bought one. It was the $65 one off Amazon because I buy everything off Amazon because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what is before me. I'm going to show you how I put it together. And immediately upon unboxing it, I realized there's a few things I don't quite like about it, which I did fix. I'll show you that too. So here's what's in the box. It comes with 3 drawers, the 4 posts to put them together, a bunch of nuts and bolts, a handle, and casters. And the thing to note about this is these casters swivel. These do not, and that's a big problem because this thing is a lot less useful when only 2 casters swivel. You can't navigate this anywhere because you've got one end that won't turn whatsoever. I did fix that. I'll tell you all about that. This did not come with any instructions whatsoever. Not a problem. So there are a bunch of nuts and bolts, but there are only 16 washers, 16 lock washers, 16 bolts. I was like, all right, that seems pretty clear that that is going to be for the casters because there's 4 of them, 4 bolts each, 16. That makes sense. Then I had 22 3/4 inch long screws and 2 1 inch long screws. And you'd think that might be the drawers. The drawers get, let's see, 8 screws per drawer. But I got the 22 and the 2. And then what I realized looking at the pieces, I've got this handle. The handle goes through the same slots as the drawer, so there's a little bit longer to account for the handle. Figured out all the screws and bolts. Now it's time to get this together. I'm going to start putting this together. Now, when you build a house, you start at the bottom, the foundation. I assume same case here, so I'm just going to designate this drawer as my bottom drawer, put the casters on it, work my way up, and put this thing together. So one note is you will need a 10mm wrench, a 10mm socket, and a screwdriver. All the nuts and bolts, they're 10mm, and then some of these are screws, so you do need a screwdriver. You need kind of the one of the larger ends of the screwdriver, like some of the smaller ones. Not going to work, these bolts, or these screws need a bigger one. So that's it. Let's put some casters on here. And before I start that, one note. So I told you that this thing is a lot less maneuverable with only 2 swiveling casters, that with 2 stationary casters, you just can't navigate this like you need to. So you know what I did? I went out and I bought 2 more swiveling casters. I looked at a couple places. Harbor Freight had the best price, $7 per caster. And I think these are polyurethane. I don't know. I kind of gnawed on them a little bit. They seem like polyurethane, so that's what I got. So this is what I went and did. I went out and got some polyurethane casters. Check that out. Check it out. 2 casters from Harbor Freight. These are 4-inch casters. That's what you need to get. These swivel. And it's going to make this thing so much more maneuverable because I've dealt with carts that only have 2 swiveling casters. You can't maneuver them anywhere. You know, you're trying to like slide the one end around and drift around everything. Don't do that. Get yourself 2 more swiveling casters. That's what I did. So I'm not even going to start putting this thing together before I get the casters. Now we can put it together. It's going to seem a little flimsy before you get everything on, but once you get all these shelves on, it's pretty stout. It's going to be stout. You know, because what you have these top posts, they're just not connected. Once you square that up, that's going to be nice. But I just want you to see this thing rolling it around way easier with casters, because I can just, the front curves around, the back curves around, and you can get around tight spots way easier. If the front casters weren't moving, I'd have to, swing this thing around. Oh, I didn't hit it quite right. I got to back it up, swing it again. You got to do like a 40,000 point turn to get around things. The swiveling casters is where it's at. You've got to do it. So that's it. That is the cart. I mean, the swiveling casters are a big thing. But one other thing I don't quite like is that is so loud. I want to put some liners in here just to quiet that down. Also give me a surface that's a little bit easier to clean. Something's not so scratchable that I could toss if I want to. So let me go look through what I have and figure out what I can put in there. So it really comes down to a factor of what I have on hand. This is some like flooring. And it is supposed to lock together. Unfortunately, this is an offcut where there's no bevel on either side. But I've got just enough pieces, just barely enough piece top shelf, and I like it. You got the wood grain on the top shelf where you see it. That's good. For the rest of the shelves, I don't have any more of this. It'd be nice to put this on all of them. Can't do it. But let me cut this up to size. This one's like so close to being right, just needs to trim a little bit. Get in there, let's see what we're working with. Let's put that last piece in there. I think it should just fit if I cut it right. So look at that. It is in there. Look how nice. That looks very classy. You want a classy tool cart. Is it? I don't know why that is up a little bit. Could just be this flooring has a bit of a bow to it. You know what? Once I put some stuff in here, that's going to be fun. Let me work on the other two shelves. And the nice thing I love about this is it's so much quieter. Louder, quieter. And it makes it sound a lot more solid. I love that. So for the second shelf, this is just hardboard, press board. I'd like to have the wood grain. Didn't have any more of that. I wanted something thin, something that I don't care about if I have to throw it away. And also something a little bit flexible because you have to work it. Those screws stick into the drawer, so you need something that's a little flexible to get in there. And this has enough flex that I think it should just slide right in there. So let's see. So it's a little tricky getting it in there, but it is in there, and it is in there to stay. Like, I'm not sure I'll be able to get that out because it is getting it around those screws not easy. You know, what helped me on this top part is that there's just a very little piece right here that I can pull out, and that way I can slide this over and then slide this down. Didn't have that luxury on the press board. My original thought with these liner panels was maybe something like EVA foam. If you've watched my other videos, you know I like working with EVA foam. My concern was if my tools are greasy or dirty, that foam's going to soak it up. I can't clean it. And so I think the wood flooring, the fake wood flooring, is good for that. This was my second idea, but I like the way that wood flooring looks on the top shelf, is I have like these pieces of carpet that have a rubber backing. It's going to be easy to clean, durable, but the top one I wanted the wood. But what I like about this one is that my bottom shelf, if you notice, the casters are bolted to the bottom shelf, so the screws up there. So if I put a piece of press board or something rigid, it's going to have some flex in the middle because those screws are putting up on the ends. Like this has enough flex that it won't be popping up and down, and yet the carpet could compress a little bit at the screws. So I just like it. I like it for that, and it is nice and flexible for that bottom shelf. Look at it. I love this thing. I've been thinking about a cart for a while, and I finally decided to go ahead and get one. And it's just been very convenient as if I need a few tools I want to wheel around a particular location. Right now I'm working on my Blazer, so it's nice to load some tools up on this, wheel it around the Blazer from the front to the back, and not have to worry about where my tools, where I put them. Everything is on the cart. I know where it is. So it looks very nice, but very clean. It's going to look like this forever. So let's put some tools on this. That is a much better representation of what this is going to look like. It's going to have the tools I need or have on hand for the job I'm doing. I really like this. I've actually already used it a couple times already, and it is working perfectly like I want it. It is absolutely great, but it is missing one last thing. Now it has a waterworks sticker. Now it's complete, because if you're going to use your cart, you got to customize it. You know, I'm thinking about maybe some other vehicle badges or maybe some other stickers I can put on this thing. Like, you got to make it your own. Somebody know whose it is. It's yours. You got to customize it. So that is the first, right there, of many stickers to come. I love this cart. It's doing exactly what I want it to do. I don't know why it doesn't come with swiveling casters in all four corners. Like, to me, that seems like a huge design error or oversight. And maybe it saves them a few pennies, but does it really save a few pennies? I don't even know if it does. I mean, maybe every penny counts, but it should have 4 swiveling casters on all sides. Now it does. And like, even right here, like just in this little small space right here, if I was trying to wheel it around without swiveling casters on all 4 corners, it'd be so difficult to get around that space where I'd be having to drift it and slide it and scrape it across the floor. With 4 casters at swivel, you don't have to do that. It just spinning around in a tight spot, which is what you need in this cart. You're going to be in tight spots with it. It's perfect. For $65, and I did have to spend $50 more on casters, so that puts us at $80. The liners I just out of scrap. $80 is not bad. I mean, it has been very useful to me because working on my Blazer, I have tools that are on the creeper, they're inside the vehicle, that are on the back bumper, they're on under the hood. Like, I've got tools all over the place. Like here, all the tools are on that cart, and that cart just follows along right behind me. I just wheeled around with me. I've been switching batteries in and out of the Blazer. It's been nice to put a battery in the cart and wheel that around instead of having to lug it around myself. It is perfect. It is great. If you don't have a cart and you're doing a lot of projects on the move, it's going to be very helpful. Even just in my shop, if I want to load up some tools from on that side of the shop and bring them over here, it's kind of nice to have a spot to do that. This thing, I've thought for years, maybe that could be useful. Definitely is. Get a cart, put some swiveling casters on it, put some liners in it, and then make it your own. Put some kind of sticker on there. Get it done.